Ladies and gentlemen, Burgundy World here with another exciting offer. Has this ever happened to you? You're playing Minecraft. You think to yourself, oh man, I've just completed this really cool project and it's time to put away my stuff. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this away. Well, not anymore. Today we're going to introduce a brand new offer for storage sorting systems. Get machines to do it for you. Why live your Minecraft life like your real life? A gigantic fucking mess when you could have a machine put it all away for you. Call the number on your screen now. Welcome back to another episode of BurgCraft. Today is the beginning of a lengthy and possibly extremely tedious but important task. If we go down here into the shame hole, we have the storage room, and this is getting out of control. Got chests everywhere. It's a mess. I've got chests behind the chests. They're going in all sorts of weird directions. I got this in here. Nothing. There's literally nothing in here, but I have that here anyways. And this is unacceptable. This is getting ridiculous. I can't live like this anymore. So, it's time to build the proper storage room. Now, this is going to be in a couple parts, because the first part is this needs to be a lot larger. The storage room I'm going to be going with is the same storage system I have on the Forever server, which is one by Rapscallion. The link for that is going to be in the description below. But it is gigantic. It is a multi-item sorter with some additions that I made for myself for convenience, because there's some things that I wanted to have in it, and I'm going to go to that world and just show you what I'm talking about. And here we are. This is the storage room. This is a gigantic wall of chests that goes for farther than the eye can see. Now, the main reason I want to go with this is a multi-item sorter. So each slice has just a bunch of items that I've set in here. So I have all of the Acacia products. They show up here. And that goes the whole way. It also comes with a nice bulk storage add-on for a bunch of things that I would need that automatically loads some shulkers of different things, as well as place where the empty shulkers go, unstackables, overflow, all sorts of things. Now, the reason why I want to build this is because I love it, for starters, but it is gigantic. So the actual storage system is outside. If we go out here for a brief moment, this is the storage, the actual storage setup. It is a wall of individual multi-item sorters, and each one of these chests says what goes into it. And what happens is there is a item entry. It goes in, cycles through all of these, and just goes into the right place. And it's extraordinarily complicated and wonderful. I've added a couple of things for my own sake. So each individual slice is nice, but I have the bulk area, which is something that I added to it. It also comes with a couple of little extra things. So I added the ability for it to take full shulkers and loose items. There's a shulker loader underneath. I have an indicator light for when it's actively sorting. A couple extras like garbage disposal and different things. And it's great. Now, the main reason why I wanted to build this is, compared to everything else, is because I love hoarding things. So if I have individual chests for everything, it's too much. And I love being able to just throw everything from a project into one of these and just have it go. The downside is, the reason I'm building it underground is because I'm currently, when I'm not doing my, when I'm not playing on the Let's Play server, I'm working on the build for this. Which I think, I think it's coming along. It's looking pretty sharp, but like it's gigantic, and you can see it's not finished. And it's like I'm kind of figuring this out as I go. And the thought of having two different worlds where I'm trying to build a shell for the outside of this would drive me nuts. I can't do it. But a cool interior, that's excellent. There's a couple things I'm going to do, I think, a little bit differently. however. For starters, I don't think I'm going to have it in one long straight line. I think what I'm going to do is have wings. So I'm going to have the entrance, and then it's going to be like a giant plus sign with a wing going around for different areas, and then like have like one wing for like bulk storage, for example. I think that would be really handy. We have a lot of space underground to work, which is nice. So that's going to be a relatively simple process. The main thing is that this room isn't big enough. It needs to be 15 high, so we need to dig out the floor. And it needs to be 24 wide, which this currently isn't, just to fit it at the very least. So probably actually have to make it go 26 wide. So this is going to have to be a lot larger and a lot different dimensions as well. So that's a monumental task by itself. It's just literally digging out the hole. So I guess it's time to start digging out the hole. This is going to take so long. This is going to be painful, but it's worth it because the storage system is going to be awesome. I won't have this mess of chests. It'll be easier to decorate, and I can just throw crap in and just be set, and that's going to be fantastic. So, actually, I'm going to set up some beacons, and then it's going to be time to start digging. I have to also move these guys, so don't mind me. Something that really alarmed me is, so I recorded that last bit while like I was cooking food, like when I was getting ready for eating, and I was cooking up some some frozen hash browns in the oven, some hash brown patties, and I didn't notice it because like the package was new. I like opened it, and the first one I grabbed had a bite out of it. Someone took a bite out of a frozen hash brown, and then that's when I got it. So that's unsettled me for probably the rest of this digging experience. So, you know, I don't have anything else to the story. There's nothing relevant, but it's just who bites a frozen hash brown? Also started, I just dug out the staircase so I know how much deeper this has to go so that it actually fits the gigantic storage system. This is the new floor all the way down here. So most of the digging has been a colossal waste of time and not enough. So this is just going to be me digging for the foreseeable future. Because like the end of the staircase is like here. Well, I guess like if I center it, and then we'll figure it out. I know the dimensions, and I'll have to work from there and see what happens. Okay, now digging time. This is the start of the dig project where I'm still feeling zen about digging. There's some times where just like insta-mining a bunch of rock just feels really nice. On the scale I've done this, and I record these voiceovers at the end after I've edited the rest. At the end, it became kind of painful, but at this point, I'm still feeling pretty good. And you know, but I don't have much to say about it. You know, I'm just digging a hole. It feels nice, nice, relaxing. Put on music, put on YouTube, enjoy yourself, dig some rocks. Okay, first milestone is when I ran out of the range of the first beacon that I have here. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to build the starting dimensions, and then I can kind of dig out the rest. I'm also like, I'm actually happy because a lot more of this space ended up being valuable than I imagined. And I'm like, okay, if this is the center line and then dug out here, it's pretty much lined up, which is really nice. There's a lot more digging to go on over here, but you know, that's okay. The other thing though is that like the island is running out of space. I was digging this way. I was like, oh, this is definitely low enough. I actually don't think it is. So that's not ideal because it runs into the edges of the island pretty quickly, actually. There's space on all the sides. Actually, I need to go and do some calculations about how big this is going to be so I can figure out if I actually have room, or do I have to actually lower this and have this be like the ceiling and then go down. It'd be crazy if I had this whole idea, dug out this whole thing, and then turned out I needed more space. That would be really fucking cool. That would be the coolest thing that could possibly happen. Okay, I've done the math, and this is currently 75 blocks long. I need at least 126 blocks of length. So if I go in the middle and make this like a plus shape, given the amount of space that I have, there's only so much I can go out this way, because I can only pretty much go out to about here without messing with this landscape here, which I don't really want to do. But the plus shape in the other directions, maybe even make these wings a little longer. Yeah, that'll do. But I'm gonna have to make a few more beacons to make sure I got coverage everywhere. And we're back to digging. I tried to keep as much of this symmetrical as possible, so I made sure to dig like the bounds first and the ends and try to go through from there. I had to leave a few times to go get beacons and dig a hole out for those. The tunnels you see on the left-hand side of the screen there, that's those are the paths to my other caves. And the tunnel bore, which I've accidentally intersected because I'm bad at measurement. Oh my god, what was that? I didn't realize that happened during that time lapse, but okay. I'm gonna keep that in because that's horrifying. You're welcome. Okay, we are starting day 2 of the dig. Progress is looking okay. We have several extremely liminal paths. I had to take a couple stops to put some beacons down because there's no way that I am slow mining this. That would be sickening. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to extend this side a little bit more if we take like a bird's eye view of like where we're at. This is old storage and this is the space now. I actually don't think this is enough room still. So I'm gonna push this out a little bit. As far as I can get over here, which you can tell by the hill, which I'm gonna actually have to rebuild a little bit once I've made this the proper height. And over here, we do have ample space as well. It's probably, I might have to be accepting with it not being even, but that's gonna be fine. You don't realize, everything sounds like a really good idea until you start doing it, and then you start really running into the problems. Where like, I realize, like, what am I gonna do with this? Because I have to dig down from here, because this is where the roof is gonna be at. But I was like, oh, well actually I could make it a little bit lower, and then I'd have more space, and have this be the roof, but then I actually have to dig down even further, and then I have to change the dimensions of all this. It's a lot. So we're going back into digging day number 2 and hopefully making some more progress. This is about 2 hours worth of digging and repairing and getting beacons and stuff. I had to get more beacons to make this work. So let's keep it up. Now you run into the problem where digging in this section of caves underground has started to become visually incomprehensible. So it's been difficult to try to find a camera angle that works. The other thing that really doesn't help is that repeatedly my pick is about to break. So the recording software in the flashback doesn't like it when you change dimensions. So I pause the recording to go fix it. And then I forget to unpause it and dig some more until I notice after I have to go repair my pickaxe again. And then a big chunk is missing in the time lapse and it looks terrifying. I think we have one coming up here in a moment. Here it is. Oh, there it is. Whoops. But it's hard to figure out how do you actually like visualize this. This is like taking pictures of your own butt. You know, it's actually a lot more difficult than you would imagine it is to get the right angle and bend and everything. And that's kind of what I'm experiencing here. I'm realizing I should definitely plan what I'm going to say instead of winging it, because that's fucking terrible. Okay, several more hours later. We've dug out quite a bit of space here. And this is even, we're not done. This is the ceiling. And if we free cam for a bit, that's the floor. So we still got to get rid of this middle chunk in between them. And then that's going to be our area for the storage space. I'm taking a breather now because I just finished this top and like outlining it and getting that all done. There were some problems. Problem 1. The item stream from the crop farm was actually 1 block lower and flooded the whole area. And I didn't even think about it. So I had to redo it, move it 1 block higher. And that's why in the ceiling you can see the ice path. Which isn't ideal. Second problem, I miscounted. So look at this corner over here. Oh no. But this can be covered. That can be terraformed over. That'll be okay. I have just an absurd amount of stone and cobblestone now. I've been using it to kind of make little bits. Just been making repeaters and observers. Just cause. I'm on the way to repair my tools again before doing a little bit more digging. But one thing I've realized from this process, because it's been hours, right? Like, so many hours. If I ever come up with the idea to dig something underground in a project to this scale, if I ever decide to build something underground to this scale again, please tell me off. I know there's part of it that's annoying when you build stuff on top of the ground, because then you have to build around it. But this digging project is just forever. I don't know how people do it. Although I feel like it's probably, like, to a certain extent at this point, like a rite of passage. Like, these are the big digging projects that people do. And I have to get that experience, you know? I've been here, this is the third or fourth time I've been here since starting. I also know that I'm gonna feel better about it when I just have to decorate the walls and not build an entire building around this. I think that's just gonna be nice. Like, it'll just be, you only have to do an interior after digging. So, you know, that'll be nice. So yeah, now I think it's gonna be time for the middle chunk lowering this floor. I do recognize, however, that until this is done, I do actually need to use these chests. So I can't really get rid of them. So I think I'll keep the floor here and dig around it. Because the other thing I need to do is I need to make sure all my planning worked, right? That I did that correctly. And so actually start, like, when I do hollow this out and this is more connected, I want to build a slice of the storage to make sure that I actually counted correctly. Because if the dimensions aren't right and I have to dig out more, I will shit. So, okay, we're going back to more digging, dig. As you can tell by that section, I'm losing my sanity at this point. I definitely didn't unpause correctly during a huge portion of this because I went to repair my pickaxe again. And there's big chunks of it that just ended up missing, like a couple of the wings. I had the software open and just didn't record it. I just kept leaving and I just had it paused. But at this point, I'm starting to lose my sanity. I'm, like, falling asleep while doing this too. Like, it is zen to a point where it's, like, problematic on my brain. Like, it turns it off. The noises stop existing. It's like it's counteracting my real brain waves and ends up being neutral while I just dig a hole. And I've actually gotten to the problem where I had too many resources at this point, and I'm just letting stuff despawn. I know that's probably frowned upon, but I just could not be bothered after a while to pick up and try to sort all of this. And so I didn't, and despawned. Whoops. I filled up all these shulker boxes. And also some of these. I even took a moment to, where are they? Where? Even just turned some of the cobble and stone into comparators and repeaters. Dug all this out. It's 2 days ago now. I dug all that out. I emptied out this space. And then my intestines immediately decided that they wanted to follow suit. They wanted it to be inspired in a similar fashion. And it was cumbersome. But this is now empty, except for this platform, because I actually still need the storage to be functioning. Yep, still have that there. There's a hole here that goes down to where the tunnel bore is. Which that's not ideal. That's a death trap. I've kind of lined out the center here of each of the wings, and now I need to make sure that I've done my measurements correctly, and this is actually big enough to fit the storage machine. You might be thinking to yourself, actually, looking at this is kind of absurd for storage, but it's needed. It is so needed. You can't emotionally understand how necessary this is. I need this, because this is a disaster. I can't handle it anymore. So I'm going to see if it fits. Okay, so we have the storage thing here. I've just spent the last little bit putting this together. I think this works. I haven't tested it yet, mind you. Now, the main thing is, A, the height is correct. There's just enough space above to hold that and 5 rows of chests so that each slice can sort appropriately. Now, you'll notice one thing, too, that I did is I put this like, diorite path down the middle as, like, just so I knew where the center line was, right? And I had planned to have a certain amount of walking space on either side of the chest. And not me noticing, the second I hit record, I'm like, I build this, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot more space back here than I thought. I built the chest directly against the center line. I actually wanted a couple blocks, specifically this many blocks in between, so that you could walk down it. Because now, like, it may not be obvious why this is a mess up in the tunnel. What I've essentially created would be a hallway that's 1 block wide. This is essentially what I've made. All right, let me check your storage. I've made a storage casket is what I've done here. So in a lot of ways, that's not ideal. Other content creators, they would cut out a massive fuck up where you build an entire slice of a machine as a test. 2 blocks too far. I won't. You get to see it. You get to sit here with me in my failures. I'm just going to test to see if this works. All right. So this isn't set up for anything. So if I put in these observers, if I put in 16 observers should show up in this chest. That it's worked. That's when I know it's working. Okay. Looks like it's sorting. 16 observers. Great. This means I have built it correctly, wrong, in the wrong spot. So that's not God damn it. Okay, I have made ample space and I've moved this back so it's right up against the wall. I've been watching BurgCraft videos, specifically BOO, and there's one episode that's kind of stuck in my head where he's just like talking about something and he just suddenly interrupts himself, just like, I fell in front of my wife. And I don't know why, but just like the idea of just like talking about like whatever you're building and then all of a sudden some random personal interjection that has literally nothing to do with what you're doing, it's just like really funny to me. I've also been getting TikToks that are just people playing Minecraft, but they're just like talking, like they're like trauma dumping about how they're afraid to be a disappointment to their friends and family. I don't know what to do with this information, but anyhow, storage room, storage machine. I believe I've built it correctly. I'm going to test again, same way. 16 observers. The filters are not set up for anything, so they should end up 16 observers right here if I've done this correctly, hopefully. Things are flashing, things are working. 16 observers, great. So that means that this is working. Now, most of the height, of course, is just like the bulk storage where I just want to have as many chests as possible. The actual like machine part of it's actually is kind of small. How it works is not intuitive. Like I genuinely, I don't know if I could have ever come up with this idea myself. All right, this is like genuinely witchcraft, how this works to me. This is take 3 of me attempting to explain how it works. Okay, there's 2 sets of filters. This is where the item stream is. It goes in here. There's this, which lets you have 1 item in it, and this chest, which is currently full of blockers. When this is actually set up, it will have whatever you want to go through. You put 2 of the relevant item in. So what'll happen is item goes in and it turns on this hopper, powering this line that unlocks it. So that that item will go down. But if it matches this item, one of these will drop into the hopper as well. When that happens, it goes down through this hopper line into this dropper here. If it matches and everything's going correctly, nothing gets powered and it falls through this hopper straight into the chest here. If it doesn't match, item goes in here, nothing falls out of here. It all goes down and instead is powered so that this dropper is powered, goes into this one, this one, this one, this one, back around, and attempts to get fired into the chest. Non-matching, there's a hopper right under that hopper in there. There's a hopper under the dropper in there, and that sends it off to the next slice to be tested. If it does match, eventually all the items go through and it just fires one of them back into the chest, replacing the filter. And it does that over and over again, going through the whole time. Now, specific timings and processes, this is a mystery to me. Like I know that item goes in here, powers off this line, which unlocks this hopper to go down. And then that's also firing all this other stuff on specific timers. I don't genuinely, I think it's single strength based. it's like if there's 2 items in here, because it goes down, it'll start powering this other stuff. I think. Genuinely unsure. Like I put the observers in there right now. If I do this and see how this is all powered, but like not flashing down here, like nothing's happening because it's not firing the droppers the same way. But if I put something that's not in there, then it starts flashing here, which is powering the droppers to send it up and around. I think this is how it works. I'm genuinely not sure. Oh, I didn't add hoppers here. And when it comes to item filtering, genuinely, this logic I would have never put it together. Like, yeah, I see that last tick is pushing the filter back in. No idea. I would have never figured this out. The logic, it's actually the storage logic of how the items get filtered, which is like really baffling. I'm used to like rub hopper. If it has something, it works. So anyhow, now that this is done, the slices, it's now time to build more. It's time to fill this whole room with as many of these slices that'll fit. It might be overkill for the amount of items I need, but I'd rather have this because if this is going to be a world for a while, I want to make sure I have room to expand. I can go out more and get more things. So now it's a time-lapse time where I'm just going to build a bunch of these slices and fill this room up. And I'll meet back with you soon. Once I got the kind of the main structure of the build in those first couple slices sorted, then I just could like act almost like a 3D printer where I'm just printing one layer at a time. And I found that's just like a much easier way to do it in my brain. Like to the point where everything you're seeing now, the building of this entire section took less time than it took to build the original 2 slices. And on one hand, that's embarrassing, but it's just more difficult when you're trying to like build it fresh like that. But that's why I really like these tileable systems, because you can just sort of like expand. You'll be like, I'm adding this one block and just go down the whole way doing it over and over again. And watching it back, it's honestly kind of satisfying. And it's just a lot easier. It's so much easier on my brain. You can figure out ways to do it to make it a little bit smoother each time. It's just nice. It looks nice. It feels nice. It's lovely, isn't it? All right. The first bank is mostly completed, with the exception of, oh, there's dirt everywhere. The exception is I haven't put together the filters. Ironically, one of the ways that this is like really expensive is in levels. Because like, okay, so for my brain, I think it's easier to put in all the filter items and then set up what actually goes where after. That just makes sense to me personally. Whether that's reasonable or the right way to go about it, I don't know. But I have to set up the bottom filters and all of these. So that's like a level or 2 per slice. Per wall of chests. So I have to go. So now I have the really interesting job of naming bamboo and sticks. And that to be different ones, right? Because the way how it works is it like it's only looking at like whatever goes in this first slot. So you can't have this like named bamboo here as well. It has to be 2 separate types of filters. And since I've built this before, I know what's going to happen is I'm going to end up with a chest full of filter items, but I'm just going to have to accept that. It's going to be a lot. I have to just go name things just for the next 100 years, make 1 million anvils, and then make the other wall. And then it's going to turn and go over here as well. And over here. It's going to be massive. It's going to be a lot. And I'm going to be set for I'm going to be set for my entire life. I don't know if it works because I don't have the filters in. So I'm going to have to put it in the filters and then test it. And hopefully it does work because I don't want to have to go in there. I'm pretty careful. I'm pretty certain. Hopefully I've done it right. Oh, thank God I'm doing this in bits because there was all sorts of mistakes. For instance, every comparator that was supposed to be on subtract mode wasn't, and every comparator that wasn't supposed to be on subtract mode was. And I forgot a single piece of redstone on every single line. So I messed up the filters a little bit, but it is now all together and working potentially. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if it's working. If I put these 28 observers at the other end, there's a chest. 28 observers should be there. So, whenever this torch is on, that indicates that it is processing. The flashing means that it's doing something. And since none of these slices should accept observers, I haven't set that up to go anywhere, they should just work their way all the way down. It's not like the most exciting test because it's like there's just like redstone flashing and stuff, and it either works or it doesn't. Oh. It's stopped here. That's not right. I see. I missed a single slice, a single piece of a stick in that one chest. I'm just going to double check that stick didn't fall through. No. Okay. I missed literally one slot, so I guess we're trying again. For another fundamentally uninteresting test, as just stuff like kind of flickers and it goes. I mean, it's kind of cool when it's all kind of like working in tandem automatically like that. I think that's kind of neat, personally. Yeah, I believe we're past the problem. It's made it to the end. Now it's time to see if 28 observers end up in that last chest. Yes. The system works. As you can also see, I literally spent half of my levels on the filters just for this side. This is an expensive build, but my golly, is it going to be worth it? I'm noticing a hole in the floor, which I'm just gonna go fix really quick. But the thing that's cool about this is that like you can build them next to each other, but you know, I don't have to, because what I can do is just where that output is just sort of have a line of hoppers go back around and bring the items over here. So we'll have this track of items. Like I'm thinking, I didn't specify this. I'm thinking like having the item processing area being just like here, because I think this would be really nice for like, you know, you put the shulker loader and unload the shulker unloader here, some extra storage bits, maybe even the entrance to that furnace, the super smelter I wanted to build there, have that be like the area, the command of operations, and then all the chests going this way. And like all the storage out this way. I think that could look really cool. So that means it is time to continue. Now I'm just building literally the exact same thing on the other side. Same thing, I'm just printing it. And at this point, I'm actually starting to have the pattern memorized. I've built this same structure so many times that I actually don't even really need to like reference anything else. I just kind of look over and go, okay, that's that. And I just sort of can build it. And it's becoming a lot faster, which is really nice. So this was a much shorter time. It's a bit much, but doesn't it look sick though? Okay, this band is done. There's an extra wall. And I'm going to do this every time, as annoying as it is. I'm going to have to test it to make sure it goes. Got a chest here. All the filters are all set up. So this should be that I put in 32 observers. They should end up right here and not go in anywhere else. Now, if you'll notice my level compared to what it was when we started the project, this is destroying my experience. It takes like a shulker of filter items to get to set up. And I don't even need all of them at the end by the end of it, right? Like I'm gonna have to remove the filters, but like I need to make sure that the technology works, or it's a train wreck. So I need to basically, after this, even before building, I need to go spend some time at the gold farm just to get a crazy amount of experience, because still gotta fill up this side and still gotta fill up this side. It's crazy. Okay, I'm not gonna put this off anymore. I'm gonna see how this works. Now, this side should still work in theory. I have no reason to expect that I've broken it since I built this. So I'm just gonna patiently wait until it works its way down. And it's nice. I just got a chain of hoppers at the end that takes it back around and into the next wall of chests. Patiently waiting, just waiting to see what's going on. Okay, so this means it's working its way over here. Yes, flashing. We're looking good. Same as last time. I just have to make sure that this makes all the way to the end. The torch turns on when it's operating, flashes when it's sorting items that it doesn't want. So this is going. I don't know. Do I fill this part in with like conversation? What's everybody thinking about? Comment your deepest thoughts below. All right. 32 observers. That's good. This side is completed. This is a big win. I've gone through so many observers, by the way. So many observers, my glass. I've used my entire supply of chests. I have to make more. Bamboo farm is doing extra work. See, I have the sticks here as filters, and then bamboo. In my forever world, because I'm role playing a meat selling capitalist, all of the filters are chickens. And that's not a good idea. I just want to let everyone know right off the bat, you shouldn't do that, especially if you're making something this big. Oh my heavens! I need levels. I need to get some levels. I'm thinking just because of the amount of time this takes. I actually don't know if I'll have the materials to just finish this out. I'll try it. We'll try it before the episode ends. I'm definitely not going to have the ability to actually sort this by the time this episode ends, because that by itself is going to be a process, because I need to make all the slices and I need to get basically 2 of every item that I'm going to ever want to put in there, which is, that's going to be a pain. Doable. Like, I have a good range of items. There's some I don't have. I didn't realize I had these shulkers of stick. See, this is what I need the storage for. This is urgent. So I need to hunker down and get this done. But I don't think I'm gonna have the ability to actually filter stuff into it by the time this episode ends, because that's gonna take a while. 2 of every item that could possibly go in it, and that's gonna take a little bit to collect. Some of the filters aren't made up. That's okay. I can deal and be like, this is what will go here in the future. So I think a good start would be nice. So I'm just gonna be here getting levels for the next few minutes before I think starting the next section. So see ya. In the previous time lapse, I was like, I'm getting this memorized. I know exactly what's going on, and this is going pretty solid. And then while I'm building it, I ended up running into a very peculiar snag. Just confused the hell out of myself again, right? So I'm still in time lapse mode. You can see if we look here, I'm building like the bottom parts, and it's been in these sides that it goes right up against the wall, right? Doing that, feeling good, all is well. So then I go to place these observers, which are going to be pointing into those hoppers, and there's an extra space. I've built this uneven. I've dug out this hole unevenly. It is 12 on this side. It is 13 on this side. This is not symmetrical. I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to fix the room dimensions, because realistically, when this is done, okay, this is going to be closed off. You're not going to see this. You're just going to see the process. All we're going to see is in this little window here. So, but I do have to tear down everything that's right here. So you're going to see that in the time lapse here in a second, and that's why that happened. Jesus Christ, man. I have a PhD in quantitative psychology, and I've been stumped by the premise of counting to 12. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take shortcuts, but it'll be fine. I'm just taking this emotional moment. I'm being vulnerable. Okay, 1 moment, and this is gonna be just finishing the rest of it. Now at this point, I did actually, like, I'm locked in, and I've got this memorized. I am nailing it. I even took the brave way of going 2 arms at once. I'm just going through this, and it's super fantastic. And at this point, like, I'm feeling pretty fatigued of being stuck in this hole and sort of doing the same thing over and over again hundreds of times. And I'm running out of materials. But then I decided after this, I was doing the third wing as well. So went through this whole process again. And I think at this point, in terms of actual building, this has been approximately 8 to 10 hours of just building and having to be interrupted to go get more materials. I'm running out of stuff all the time, making more stuff because I have no idea how much this was going to cost. We're in the thousands of observers, I'm pretty sure. And but it's good. It's done. It's done. All right. That's 3 wings done. I believe this is everything I'm going to need in terms of multi-sorted items. So I'm thinking all of my bulk storage. Bulk storage is going to be 1 wide tileable shulker loaders. And that can fit here, and that should be fine. While I was building this, I got a great idea. I was talking earlier how, like, central command, you know, have this area that like items go in here and then all this other stuff, like entrance for the smelter. I got a great idea from Jane Doe saying that I should make it so that when items get smelted, they automatically go into the sorter. I think that's genius. I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to add a toggle so that it's like it can either return the items to me or put them in sorting. That's going to be sick. This last wing here, I haven't actually added the filters yet. I don't know if it works. I'm going to assume that it does, because I'd rather like get the episode completed and not be held back by the fact that I have to load in 7 million sticks. It's all hooked up and it's all looking good. And this isn't done, mind you. There's going to be a part 2. Next episode is going to be more storage, because just by itself, this needs a few more additions. First off, you can't just have items just go into it. You need a special item distributor, because you need to make sure that there's a space between each type of item that goes in. Otherwise, it can break the whole system. I need to add that. I need to add the shulker unloader and just like the regular loose item loader. I need to add the bulk storage bits. I need to actually figure out the sorting, like what is going where. Now, the easiest part about that, okay, actually, in realistically, whenever you're setting up like your own storage, trying to just figure out where stuff goes is literally the most difficult part, just by a mile. And this is no different. Think to yourself, my neurodivergent brethren, I want you to think to yourself, where's stuff go? Just where do you put it? That's an impossible task. It genuinely took me hours the first time I did this for the forever storage I was showing earlier on in the episode. And I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to use the exact same one because I did it once, so I don't have to do it again. I've lived through the pain. I don't want to have to do it again. It is the most difficult part. But I just have to think, like, I have to keep in mind that when this is done, I get to avoid my least favorite thing in Minecraft, which is when a project is done, putting stuff away. Like, okay, like all these loose shulkers here from random projects, but like, let's go out. Let's go look at some other areas. Actually, I had to turn note block sounds off because I'm building right under the crop farm, and the dung 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 was annoying me. All right, for instance, this shit that's still here. I've just been using this as just random. These chests were from when I first built the crop farm. There's spawnable spaces up here I didn't even think of. Anyways, when I first built it, it's still there. Last episode's building materials, still here. Go over to where tiny farms were built. Oh, did I clear that? No. There's stuff everywhere. It's like, I just can't be bothered. I hate doing it. And I won't have to do that anymore. So all this effort now will mean I never have to do that again. And that is going to be a glorious moment in my life. I was watching the Imp and Skiz podcast, like their most recent episode. Impulse was talking about how last season in Hermitcraft he didn't have a storage system. And somebody like edited together the amount of time that he spent looking through chests for projects. And it was like 10 hours across the season of just looking in chests. I think that was just like the opening and closing of chests. 10 hours of his life was just doing that. And I can't. It adds up. So organization's important. I think I was talking about what's left, and I just sort of wandered off in the thought and just didn't bother to actually finish what I was talking about. Yeah, so we need the thing to put in items. Need to actually sort what goes where. I need a couple additions after it, so I need to have the bulk storage add-on. I need to have an area for unstackables, and I think I'm going to add a book filter. A book and a potion filter, actually, I think is something I'm going to try to add to this one. And then I need to actually put everything in it and clear out this hole. Because it looks cool from up here, but we're going to be down here, right? This is going to be our floor. I think this is going to look good. So I'm looking forward to it. But that's going to be it. That's the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. There's going to be even more storage in the future. So if you liked what you saw, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment or something. You could say ideas if you wanted. Or nothing. I mean, it's your life. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.